I'm not wearing a bra.
Okay.
You gonna feel?
I'm just trying to enjoy the bed, feel how comfortable it is.
This has got to be one of the most bizarre, cringeworthy episodes of 90 Day Fiancé I think I've ever seen. I mean, yeah, when Gino's acting like that, it's no wonder that Jasmine's contemplating more plastic surgery. He's not exactly making her feel special, is he? But the lack of bedroom action is just the tip of the iceberg.
I really wanted to cook a goddamn vegan food for you!
I really tried to take care of everything and I thought that this was gonna be funny though.
It might be Gino's very first night in Panama, but it's already a nightmare. No surprises there. Now, before we see their fragile relationship unravel, let's rewind back to the start of this episode. We left Gino last week determined to ask Jasmine for a prenup. Meanwhile, Jasmine was determined to be written into Gino's will. So determined, in fact, that I was a little scared for him, especially now that we can see just how emotional Jasmine can get.
Look at the landscape. Look.
Oh.
Baby.
Yeah, look at those.
Big mountains in Panama.
Yeah.
What was it Gino's uncle so insightfully said last episode?
He has all these good intentions, and then he gets there. She comes there bouncing her boobs in front of him, and all his good common sense goes and turns to jelly.
Does anyone else feel like Jasmine's usual tactics aren't working this time round? It doesn't really feel like Gino cares that much about Panama's big mountains. And perhaps that's because there's a lot playing on Gino's mind. I mean, they've got a lot of issues they need to resolve. There's clearly a lot of pressure on his shoulders.
This trip is likely the last time I'm in Panama before we get our K-1 visa approved and Jasmine comes to the USA. So it's kind of a big deal, big trip for me and her.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like a big trip. Now, Gino thinks that in the next 3 weeks, he's going to be able to resolve all the problems that he and Jasmine are going through. They're only small issues, you know, intimacy, trust, money, anger, communication, resentment. Yeah, sure, that's all quickly and easily going to be solved, Gino. But for now, the pair are headed to the luxury apartment that Gino's been forking out for.
Now you see what I wanted so badly.
It's like breathtaking, right? Is it worth $3,000? That's the question.
Yeah, of course it is.
They're straight to squabbling about money. Now, quite rightly, Gino doesn't want to be spending $3,000 a month for Jasmine to be living above their means. But Jasmine defends her choice by throwing Gino's words back in his face. He was the one that assured her that her visa would be approved any week now. So she wants to spend her last few weeks in Panama living the high life. But why is it I get the feeling that Gino just plucked that number out of thin air? He has no clue how long it's going to take, does he? I mean, he doesn't even know if he's filled out the forms correctly. Don't forget, in a bid to cut costs, he chose to fill out all of Jasmine's visa application forms himself, rather than hire an attorney. That could turn out to be a very expensive decision.
You said that the visa is going to be approved anytime soon. So it's not like I'm going to stay here forever.
Right.
But it's not just the apartment, it's the $1,000 hair extensions she demands. It's her nails, her cosmetic surgery. It's all adding up. Last season, Jasmine made a point of telling us that she supported herself. She didn't need anyone else's money. She wasn't a sugar baby. Yet, here she is this season, clearly spending more money than ever before. Money that isn't hers, which is something that Gino is very concerned about.
Her taste in luxurious lifestyle is becoming more and more important to her, it seems. When she comes to Michigan, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to offer her the lifestyle she's looking for.
Gino is rightly worried that his humble abode back in Michigan is going to be a big disappointment for Jasmine, especially now that she's got a taste for the glamorous life.
Island is artificial, like they created it. It's just for filthy rich people in Panama.
Oh, really?
Those are my neighbors now.
And while Jasmine comes from a humble background herself, while she used to say that all she really cared about was finding a good, trustworthy man, I'm not sure that's all that's important for her anymore. Now, putting money issues to one side, given that this is their first night reunited, Jasmine's priority is to try and fix their other big issue, intimacy.
In a relationship, sex is super important. So I'm hoping that Gino will put more effort into having sex during this trip.
Oh my God.
Sex is clearly going to be a huge hurdle for these two. I mean, for a start, their sex drives seem to be on completely different levels. But it also feels like Gino's level of attraction, his desire, really relies on emotion. He needs to be in the right headspace. But that's quite difficult to achieve, especially as he's not exactly the best at communicating. The truth is, until they learn to talk things through, all their issues, including in the bedroom, are just going to remain.
I'm not wearing a bra.
Okay.
You gonna feel?
I'm just trying to enjoy the bed, feel how comfortable it is.
If awkwardness were a person, it would look, act and sound like Gino. But with the man constantly rejecting sex, and given that Jasmine is clearly riddled with self-esteem issues, how long's it gonna take before she can't handle it anymore? How long before she starts looking elsewhere for the validation she wants and possibly needs in order to feel loved?
After seeing her spending habits, it's not making me feel good about our future together when that affects my sexual desire.
Look, is that fair? Yes, totally. But do I think that Gino's going about it the right way? No. He needs to tell Jasmine this stuff, not the camera person. Now, while I'm not Jasmine's #1 fan, her self-worth seems to be quite closely tied to her feeling sexually attractive. By rejecting her, Gino's probably making her feel low, unworthy, small, unloved. So rather than ignoring her advances, Gino needs to communicate why he doesn't feel like having sex right now.
We haven't seen each other in months, baby. Do you want me? Papi, do you want me?
Stop asking me that.
I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed that he is pushing me away. That's not how you treat the person that you love.
True, but you also don't emotionally blackmail them into spending ridiculous amounts of money on you. You don't move into the same building as your handsome ex and then lie about it. I'd say that's not how you treat a person you love either. Wow, it's almost like these two aren't actually in love. Who'd have thought? Now, Jasmine, after some contemplation, decides that she's going to be the bigger person and she's going to apologise so that they can move on.
Baby, I'm sorry. Can we start again? Let's reset. I'm sorry if I made you feel uncomfortable. I understand that your personality is very different from mine.
Jasmine suggests a quiet night in, a night where she cooks some dinner and they just relax, reconnect. That sounds like exactly what the doctor ordered. But the problem is, right from the very beginning, it seems like this is going to become a big ordeal.
I'm looking for like a peeler for the...
I haven't seen a peeler, but we do have a knife.
How are we gonna cook with not having the right tool?
Gino has real issues with using a knife rather than a peeler and cutting on a plate rather than a chopping board. Now, is he being purposefully difficult? Is he just tired? Or is this really a symptom of something else? Keep in mind, this is a guy who's lived off TV dinners for years. So why is he being so pedantic about this?
Baby, please.
We can't cook without the proper equipment.
Now, I'm certainly no expert, but there is a valid discussion to be had here about whether or not Gino might be on the spectrum. For example, we know that his ability to pick up on social cues isn't quite there. And he's also shown that he can struggle with empathy at times. Now, it seems like he's having real difficulty doing quite simple tasks unless the environment is exactly as he's used to.
We just don't have the equipment that I would normally.
Yeah, baby, this is the 5th time you said it. But you're not performing a surgery. You're just peeling a potato.
Or maybe not. It very well could be that Gino's just being difficult on purpose because he's taken the words of his family to heart. He doesn't want to be a pushover anymore. He doesn't want to let Jasmine boss him around. And this is his way of standing up for himself, by being stubborn over a completely trivial, useless thing like a potato.
I am not a pushover, and I'm not going to let Jasmine push me around.
Do you mind hurrying up because the water is about to boil?
I don't hurry up when I cook.
Wow, Gino, you really showed her who's boss. Gino thinks that he's taking a stand here, but he's really just coming across like a child. Jasmine is quite a divisive figure, right? She's really easy to hate on. You've got to be really annoying to outdo her. Yet somehow, Gino has definitely succeeded in this episode. All Jasmine wanted to do was make a nice meal for them on their very first night together. She just needed a little bit of help from Gino. And she's having real trouble. She's really confused as to why Gino's acting the way he is. To be honest, we all are.
No, I need a cutting board. I will not do it on the plate. If you don't have a cutting board, I can't do it.
Thank you for the help, Gino.
Yeah, enjoy yourself.
Gino's bottled it all in for too long, and now he's acting out. He's obviously mad at Jasmine for something, or let's be honest, many things, and because he can't express himself like a mature adult, he's taking it out on her like this. This trip was supposed to be the chance for the two of them to resolve their issues, but the pressure and the enormity of those issues has finally gotten to Gino, and he's losing it. And now, Jasmine's about to lose it too.
I just don't think that she was understanding me. Jasmine doesn't listen to me a lot of times when I try to speak to her. Like, it goes in one ear and out the other.
Now, while I believe that to be completely true, while Jasmine definitely doesn't listen, in this case, what exactly was Gino trying to say? Nothing. He wasn't saying anything, so I'm curious to know what exactly he thinks Jasmine wasn't understanding. Because the fact that you don't want to cook without the proper utensils is just, well, it's just stupid. Sorry, Gino, you need to pick a better battle.
It hurts me that he's hurt because I don't know how his freaking mind works. And maybe he's suffering.
I really tried to take care of everything, and I thought that this was gonna be fun.
This tells us one of two things. A, Gino's really not been communicating how he's feeling because Jasmine is completely blindsided and feels like she doesn't know what's going on in his head. Or B, Gino has been communicating and like he said, Jasmine hasn't been listening. But from what we've seen of the two of them, maybe it's just a mix of the two. Maybe Gino's been communicating in his own way, and maybe Jasmine hasn't been perceptive enough to pick it up. Either way, Jasmine is now in one of her heightened emotional states, and that means anything is possible.
Why are you crying like that?
Because you're mad at me.
I'm not mad at you. I didn't say I was mad at you. I just like to have the proper equipment, you know?
The opportunity was there. It was handed to him on a silver platter. This was the perfect opportunity for Gino to say something along the lines of, Jasmine, I'm sorry. I'm not mad about the utensils. The real issue, the real reason I'm mad is... And yet, he doesn't take this opportunity. In fact, he goes even further. He denies that he's mad, even though it's obvious he is. Gino chooses to double down on his utensil excuse, which is just further proof, if needed, that the real issue these two face is that Gino just can't communicate what's really on his mind.
I traveled today, so I think I'm gonna go to sleep.
Okay, my angel. Let me put you to bed, okay?
Okay.
Jasmine is being surprisingly cool-headed today. I think she desperately doesn't want to fight on their first night, so she's choosing to go along with Gino's flavour of crazy for tonight. But will that last? I'm gonna say no. Gino is fighting for some power in this relationship, but the truth is, I don't think Jasmine's gonna give up the power she has quite that easily.